Hi, these comments are for JJ. This is Michael from BetterTOEFLScores.com, and I'm listening to a practice test that you sent me yesterday. And this is an important lesson for you, JJ, and anybody else at YouTube. If you want to know one of the secrets to improving your TOEFL score from 23 to 26, you're going to learn what that is in this video. It's not a major thing, it's a mindset change. You have to change how you explain your ideas. You need to think, not abstractly when you provide examples. You need to think concretely when you give examples. Why am I saying that? I'm saying that because a lot of students get a 3. It says here, overall development is somewhat limited, usually lacks elaboration or specificity. We need to get past that problem and move to response is sustained and sufficient. It is generally well developed and coherent. We need to get to the well developed response. And JJ, that's what I want to look at right now. Now the good news is you wrote your response out. I told you to start doing this. This is very helpful for me because I can offer some really specific critiques to help you with your speaking. And also by writing out your task, you're practicing a lot of vocabulary, grammar, and all of that. And that's also good for your language use area. Okay, so first of all, let's take a look at what you wrote and let's listen to your recording here. Okay, here we go.
If I had to choose the different timing for classes, I would honestly prefer taking classes in the morning.
Good. So you have your introduction here. You're using the past tense to talk about a present impossible situation. The grammar is good. I like the conditional clause. Let's keep going.
To begin with, taking morning classes makes me feel good because it conjures me up as if I'm a diligent person who is about to embark on my daily journey.
This is where you kind of go off the cliff. I mean, how can you possibly support this idea here? Remember that what you do right when you get to that first paragraph of your response, you make some kind of an assertion, right, about why you like taking morning classes, and then you have to back that up with an example. But how do you give an example to support this? You can't, and you didn't. It's impossible. So this is an example of what's called abstract type thinking. You have to get beyond that because you can't really give a good detail for this type of philosophical abstract type thinking. To be honest, let's keep going here.
To be honest, I'm not such an early bird person, and it's arduous for me to wake up early in the morning. However, once I wake up trying not to be late for the morning classes, I can even attain extra hours after school to do something that I like.
So far we got 33 seconds into this response, and what do I see here? I don't see any elaboration whatsoever. I don't see any specificity whatsoever. I just see a lot of general statements, a lot of things about taking classes and this and that, but I don't see any elaboration or any specificity there. This is killing your speaking. It is killing your score.
Schedule for the sake of earning hours to relieve stress and refresh myself. Joining workout programs in the afternoon after finishing morning classes allowed me to be motivated to study again in the evening.
And this is really where your answer lies, I think. It's once you got to the example, you were starting to get into more specificity here, but you still didn't get too specific. You said, for example, when I was in college, you didn't say, for example, when I was at the University of California, Los Angeles, blah, blah, blah. Uh, you talked about your courses, but you didn't give examples of any. You talked about a fixed and limited schedule, but didn't explain the times. So there's just not a lot of specificity there. I like how you brought up the workout idea, though. That was a good strategy, right? So if we go back to the actual rubrics here, it's the same old thing I've heard 1,000 times. I'm going to say 23, 24 points out of 30. You just don't have a good development of ideas. You don't have a lot of elaboration or specificity, right? So that's why you're stuck here. That's why your score is 23 points. Now, what we need to do is compare what could you do differently, right? And this is why I'm glad that you wrote out the response. I can pay a lot more attention to how you structured your ideas here. So I took what you wrote and I made some changes to it. Let's take a look at it. So we have, if I had to choose a different timing for classes, I would honestly prefer taking classes in the morning so that I can begin workouts in the afternoon before I begin my evening studies. How about this to make it a little faster? Let's put before beginning my evening studies. Last semester, for example, I decided to take all of my classes in the morning from 8 to 11:50 a.m. accounting, biology, sociology, chemistry, and expository writing. After my morning classes, I had a lunch, and about 30 minutes later, I went to the University Recreational Center to do my 90-minute workouts each day. On Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I would do weightlifting exercises, and on Tuesday and Thursday, I would do cardiovascular exercises such as running, biking, and rowing. Having that workout time in the afternoon relaxed my mind and body and served as a good break between my morning classes and my evening study routine. If I had not scheduled my classes in the morning, I would not have been able to benefit from this convenient schedule. All right. Now, my guess is this is probably between 50 and 60 seconds. So, anybody at YouTube, can you guys do me a favor? See what you can do. Let's see how naturally you can read this. See if any of you guys can read it out loud in 45 seconds. That's probably not possible. See if you can do it under 60. Put your comments below. If you can read this under 60 minutes, put your comments below the video. And if you can do this under 60 seconds, this tells you that you have a pretty good speaking rate, which is appropriate for, I think, native speaker-like language and also for the TOEFL exam. All right, JJ, so that's it. So I'm asking you right now, JJ, to think about how you wrote this, which is, in my opinion, a lot more abstract than it needs to be, and then think about changing the language in your practice tests so they are much more concrete, like the example that I gave you here. Notice how I just talked about one thing here. I didn't give two reasons. I just gave one. I talked about how I like taking classes in the morning, and as it says here, so I can work out in the afternoons before my evening studies. That was the basic argument, and I was able to prove that within this short 60-second response. I know it needs to be 45, but still I wanted to make this demonstration. All right, JJ, so I hope this is going to get you going in the right direction. I think that your grammar was good from what I read and what I heard, and that your delivery was also pretty strong, but I still think the problems with the delivery would bring down your score.